And I got it decently clean. Got to drain all this fancy oil out though, because I get to replace a clutch. Ooh. Yeah, I'd say it was time. They used to be red. And spring setup still works in here. That means that it'll actually hit all the gears. You know, usually these Kickstarters just kind of come right off for me. This one's fighting me. Luckily I have this fancy little puller here that I'm using to get it off. And well, looks like I'm about done with it. Just in time. What is this puller for? I don't know, but it actually seems to have worked. Let's see if I can get... There we go! Yeah, just, I don't know, maybe it's some sort of weird tie rod end puller. Not sure. But, got it off. I got all these screws loosened off, so once I get them out, I'll be able to take this side cover off. I'll be able to get it around the brake and everything. It'll be way easier than I had feared. Well, got this side of the case off. Took a slight amount of prying, but the gasket is fairly well intact. It's intact enough to where I'm just going to goop up the case with a little bit of silicone. You know, the Moto Seal from Permatex. That's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put it right back on after I, clean the mating surface on the thing. But now what we get to do is try to get these things off here. So, yeah, you see, that's the problem. That's why we're replacing this. I shouldn't be able to turn this without the engine turning. But, as you can see, I can. So, it's going to be fun. I'll get this off, though. Don't you worry. Got the new clutch set here, straight from Ventco. No sponsorship, unfortunately. I'm not big enough for that. But I do have it all here. They got it to me like that. I put in my order, and by the next morning, they had a picture of all this stuff with the invoice showing that it was on the way. So I can recommend them. This, of course, was not exactly the cheapest thing, but relative to what I'm dealing with, I can't complain. It wasn't much more expensive than, say, something for this bike here. So I'm going to start getting it all prepared. I am, of course, going to kind of let a little bit of my transmission fluid soak into this clutch since it is a wet clutch, and we'll start putting it back together. Got the new clutch all in here, got everything torqued, and you can see I even put little white paint marks on here so that way I know that I torqued this. That's a tip for you that don't know about doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up this little piece of the case so that way I can get it put back on here. So here's something I just found kind of funny. I have this little steel out of that clutch set that I just pulled out of that 465, and right next to it, that is the steel out of my PE175. You see, I made a little tool so that way I could get the clutch basket off. Pretty easy, just bam. Yeah, you get the gist. But look at the size difference. That is massive. I didn't realize that it was going to be so big. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this and make a tool like this so that way next time I have to dig into the engine of that bike, I can actually, dig into it and pull the clutch basket and everything off. Kind of hard to do that without a tool. So I got the side case piece put back on. It's all torqued down. I did exactly what I said and just, used a little bit of sealer with the old gasket, bam, put it on. I did do a slight bit of repair to this. I figured there's no use in trying to show me welding. But I welded this up on both sides here and there so that way whenever this comes over it doesn't try to kick up. Because what's been happening is it's been knocking the C-clip off and my Kickstarter's been coming apart. So that should be fixed. Now it's full of oil. The engine itself is ready to go, but I do have to go ahead and take the pipe off and fix the cracks. So I'll catch back with y'all once all my plastic and everything is off the bike. Well, we're about to fix this here crack with none other than a gas weld. Yeah, that's right. That's the way that I weld things around here. Occasionally I'll use the old flux core, but for this kind of stuff, real thin material, gas weld, that's the only way to do it. So I'm gonna dig the old torch setup out real quick and get it ready to go. I've even got the aught tip on there already, just the one I need. Give me fuel! Give me fire! Fire! More fuel. It's been a while since I've gas welded, so this is kind of remembering how to do it. can see there, that's quite a bit wider. I filled in the crack, just kind of fusion welded it together, and now it should be good. It should not have a leak. You can see my previous weld repairs versus what I've done there. My welding is definitely much better now than it was the last time I tried to repair this. It's an artwork, and you have to practice it a lot to get it right. And I have plenty of practice doing this. Well, it's a little while later and I got it all put back together. Unfortunately, I was kind of stupid in reusing the old gasket because there's a puddle on the floor. But I'm going to go ahead and run it for a little bit, just, you know, ride it up and down. I figured I'd probably run this, drain all the fluid back out anyway to kind of flush the system. So no huge deal. Pipe is re-welded. Everything is put back together. I'm going to go ahead, fire it up here in a minute, run it up and down the road, and we'll get a status report once I do that. All right, so just looking for its first rip with the new clutch, and I'm realizing that apparently my clutch had been going out for a while because this thing is an entirely new bike. Good Lord, now that it actually has some friction material on those clutches, oh God, this thing is a rocket ship. Like I knew it was fast, but it was always kind of underwhelming. Now I know why. I had the traction. I didn't have the drive. All right, I've got to get y'all set up so that way y'all can see the ride, because this thing is pulling the front wheels. Wheel, only one. I'm used to cars. It's pulling the front wheel in third with ease. I haven't tried fourth yet, but I have a feeling it might just be able to do it. I'm gonna calm down and y'all have to take a ride with me. At the very least, the bike didn't scare away the Topi kitty. You trying to attack me, cat? He doesn't even mind the belly rubs. Quite impressive. All right, let's see how she starts. Of course, it has ran a little bit. Man. Shut up, dog. There we go. Adjust the rear brake. Damn it! Alright, the Fairlane's back. Woo! Man, would you look at that? Tons of thorns. Yeah, I am definitely happy with this bike right now. It has transformed into something ferocious. Now, of course, we got to have the random aside with the cat, because, you know, I'm over here trying to get my boots on and they're bugging me. There's the other ones over there. Yeah. Anyway, about to go back out to the bike. Well, got the bike all put together to the point where I can throw some number plates on. Well, number plates. Throw my numbers on the plates. That's more what I'm trying to say. And the bike is pretty much ready to go. I did fix the brake, and I decided that the way that I'm really going to break this thing in proper is there's a 2-hour race coming up here pretty soon. Local cross-country series, that their PM race for the, you know, faster bikes. It's 2 hours long, so why not race my big bore bike in this 2-hour long race? Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just fire it up for y'all, let y'all take a ride with me, and we'll close this video out with that. So the bike is much easier to ride with actually having a rear brake. And I adjusted the front brake so it works better. Not too bad to balance on either. So yeah, that's how she runs. And that's how she stops. So I'm excited. This is the best the bike has ever performed since I've had it, and I think that I'm actually going to be able to be pretty quick on it now. It's just jiving with me. Finally, for the first time since I've had it, it's really just, it's feeling right. It's always felt good. I've always worked well with the bike, but there's been, mainly the braking issue is a big part of it, but I guarantee the clutch has been going out for a while, so that's been weird, but whatever. Point is, it feels amazing, and my fresh paint is already getting knocked off. I knew that would happen, but oh well. So with that, that's going to be the end of this video. Next thing you're going to see on this bike is actual footage from my 2-hour long race. That's going to be wicked.